Canon will be announcing 3 lenses tonight. The RF 24-105 f2.8 L-series image stabilized USM, the Canon RF Super Telephoto 200-800mm f6.3 to 9.0, and of course the RFS and APS-C lens, the 10-18mm. Not only do we have the announcement date and time, but we also have the price for each one. I've got retail US pricing, some more specifications, and you're going to be shocked, so stick around after this short message for all the details. But first, subscribe to this channel for a chance to win a Canon EOS R5. I'll be giving one away to one lucky subscriber once this channel reaches 100,000 subscribers. Anyone above the age of 18 with a valid mailing address is eligible. Additional terms and conditions are linked in the description down below. Boy, it's been an interesting month leading up to this announcement that Canon's going to be holding tonight, a Canon RF lens announcement that's going to happen just after midnight, so 12:01 Eastern Daylight Time. We're getting the announcement of 3 lenses, the Canon RF 10-18mm, the Canon RF 200-800mm Super Telephoto that's getting the white paint treatment, and of course a lens that's completely shocked everybody, that's just driving incredible views around the internet, for the Canon RF 24-105 f2.8 L-series image stabilized USM. I'm going to be hosting a live stream at 11 p.m. tonight, that's Eastern Daylight Time, 1 hour before Canon's announcement. I'm going to have special guests where we're going to talk about the latest leaked specifications, the latest leaked images, everything leading up to the announcement, who we think these lenses are for, whether you should get them, and then we're going to cover the announcement live. And after that, once the embargo's lifted, I do have some special guests that are going to be joining us. So again, that's tonight at 11 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and I already have that live stream scheduled. But now I know why you're here. Simon, come on, hurry up and get to the pricing. We're dying to know the pricing. So I'm going to roll up my sleeves. It's not exactly a pencil that I can sharpen. And I'm going to tell you here, pricing is going to shock you on the high side, on the low side. Let's go ahead and take a deep breath. And let's go ahead and start off easy with a Canon RF 10-18mm. Now that lens is going to cost, are you ready for this? If you were worried about getting a lens that was going to be super expensive, well, don't worry, it's not super expensive. In fact, it's rather affordable. The only APS-C lens being announced tonight is the Canon RF 10-18mm, and it's going to have a retail price in the United States of $329, which probably works out to around $500 in New Zealand, Australia, and Canada. And now for the Canon RF Super Telephoto 200-800mm f6.3 to 9.0. This is a really blurry leaked image that Canon Rumors has posted, and it is authentic. I did talk to Craig earlier. The reason why it's blurred like this is it's to protect the source that it came from. So a lot of times Canon and other manufacturers, when they loan out lenses, they might do certain things, add certain things to the lens, or have scratches or scuffs, so that way if they see it in the wild, they go, ha, that guy. They're not getting our equipment anymore. So that's why it is so badly blurred and lack of resolution. Canon Rumors is protecting the source, but this is authentic. And as you can probably sense already as we start to get down to the price, which I'll get to in a moment, let's take a deep breath here. The Canon RF 200-800mm, confirmed at 200-800mm. As I said, that patent for 300-800mm, yeah, that's not what's happening here. In the focal ratio range, the aperture is f6.3 to 9.0, and it has diffractive optics. I can never seem to say that right. It's not a word I use very often, so I'm just going to say DO. It's not going to be an L series, but it is getting the, well, white paint treatment. Not only that, but it's going to be image stabilized and have USM motors, dual nano USM motors. So good news there. We were a little bit worried about whether it's going to be STM or USM. So there's another specification. It's going to have dual nano USM motors. Oh, the price here. The price. Let me just see. Have I left anything out about the specs for that camera? So pricing, 2,500 euros according to Sony Alpha Rumors. And thanks to Andrea for providing that information. And behind the scenes, he also provided me some other information, which I wasn't supposed to say at the time. Maybe I shouldn't say, but I appreciate the support from Sony Alpha Rumors. They've been really helpful here. It isn't weather sealed. At least that's according to the leaked specifications. I haven't been able to confirm that. But now in terms of the size of the lens, now this is surprising. We'll get to the pricing in just a moment. This lens will compress down so it is an external zoom, just like the 100 to 500 millimeter external I'm not speaking slowly for you. For I don't know how many videos I've had this lens and I've said internal, so definitely external, but it's going to collapse to a foot or 12 inches or 30 centimeters. That's pretty small. So it's going to fit in a standard, it's going to fit in a camera bag like this. So I'll put this right up to my chest so you can see. Oh, I do have I thought I left the microphone off. I've recorded videos without microphone. So this is just a standard, simple, low and pro camera bag, very small one. And yes, I've had this lens in there. So how much does it weigh, you ask? I know, you want to know the price. I'll get to that in a moment. 4.5 pounds. 4.5 pounds. Not for this, but for the 200 to 800 millimeter RF Super Telephoto. Get ready for the price here. I promise you, this is going to absolutely shock you. This is going to be a determination as to whether you buy this lens or not. To help set expectations, the Canon 100 to 300 millimeter retails for $9,499. The Canon 100 to 500 millimeter, this guy right here, f4.5 to 7.1, it retails for around $28.99. So it's still pretty expensive. It is an L series. It also has the white paint treatment. Again, the rumors, I said somewhere between $19.99 and $21.99. That was not correct. The price for the Canon RF 200 to 800 millimeter f6.3 to 9.0 image stabilized dual nano USM, $18.99. $18.99. Can you believe that? $18.99. I live in Canada, so even with an exchange rate multiplied by 1.35, that gives me Canadian pricing, and then I add 13% on top of that. Yeah, it's expensive, but when I realized it's starting at $18.99, which is several $100s less than I thought, that's a big win. I'm really excited by this, and I can guarantee you, if you haven't already copied down my smart pre-order links, they won't work until the embargo's lifted at midnight tonight. Copy them down, put them in your browser, bookmark them. If you're interested in pre-ordering this lens, you want to pre-order right away and use these pre-order links. What they'll do is, if you keep refreshing them right around midnight, then as soon as they're available on Adorama or B&H, you'll be able to get into the queue before anybody else, so you can get it sooner. I get a sense that this lens at that price is going to sell well. And if I know what you're thinking, if you want to see the reviews first from Gordon Lang and others, and I don't blame you, then go ahead and pre-order. Pay attention to the shipping dates, which we don't know at this point, and that'll give you some time to watch the videos. Then you can always cancel your pre-order, but if you're really gung-ho about it at that point, then at least you're further into the queue. So I've got the smart pre-order links for the 200 to 800, and I'll also have the smart pre-order links for the other lenses as I talk about them. So really, really shocking pricing. But the other shocker is the Canon RF 24 to 105 f2.8. I have the f4 right here. It's my standard run and gun outdoors lens. I like it. It's very good. It's an external zoom. External, not internal. I keep making that mistake. Isn't that right, Werner? I make that mistake a lot. 2.8. And again, this is courtesy of, I believe is it the Camera Insider or Canon Rumors? I'll flash it up. You'll see it on the screen. You're seeing it right now. It's got a foot. So that means it's big, it's heavy. I would say similar construction to the Canon 50mm f1.2, f2.8. And a lot of people have said, I don't get this lens. It doesn't make sense to me. Why on earth would Canon do this with this lens? We've got the 28 to 70, right? So that's fast and wide open. Why do this? This goes back some 20, 25 years ago when Canon released the 24 to 105. People were disappointed. They released the 24 to 70. This is in the EF days, almost pre-digital. They weren't really happy. They weren't happy at all, and they were complaining, and people have been complaining for decades. Canon, give us an f2.8. This is a very useful lens for weddings, for any sort of events where the lighting situation isn't very good. So an f2.8 is a really big deal. It's going to be very popular. And of course, the other comments down below in this video and other videos have said, yeah, wow, this is absolutely incredible. I'm going to get this. This is going to be incredible. And I can see this from the views, and I've talked to other websites. They're saying, yeah, the number of views we're getting for this story about the 24 to 105, it's beating everything in the camera market right now. This is going to be a hot topic. It's going to be a hot seller. But the price, Now the price, I've heard people say anywhere from around $2,500 up to $3,999. It's not going to be a cheap lens. This lens here, well, where's it? Where did I put it? Sorry about this. Down here, this is a super telephoto. It's $28.99. The Canon 50mm f1.2 is $22.99. The Canon RF 24-105 f2.8 L series image stabilized USM Z. That stands for power zoom, by the way. Power zoom, by the way. It's going to sell for retail, manufacturer suggested retail price of $28.99. So there you go, $28.99. Surprising on the high side, although I think a lot of us aren't really surprised by that. When we saw the footer, when we saw the level of well engineering that would go into this lens, it's not really surprising. I would have loved to have seen it closer to around $22.99, but when we see the 50mm f1.2, which is a prime at $22.99, you know that to get f2.8 throughout the entire zoom range, yeah, it is what it is. Who knows, maybe Black Friday, we might see some discounts, right? So to sum up, the 10-18mm RFS, $329. The Canon RF Super Telephoto, 200-800mm, coming in at a staggering $18.99 on the low side. And of course, we just talked about the $29.99 Canon RF 24-105. So I want to talk to you about something really big that's happening tonight. Canon's going to be having their announcement at midnight. I wouldn't be surprised if it's like 12:01 or 12:02, but it's definitely happening midnight as we switch over into November the 2nd. I'm going to be doing a live stream. It's already scheduled. This is the thumbnail, and I'm going to have some guests on to talk about it. We're going to start the live stream at 11 p.m., 1 hour before Canon's announcement. And we're just going to talk about who we think these lenses are for, if they're for us, are we interested in purchasing them, taking your questions. And then at midnight, I plan to have some other guests on, people who, well, are in the industry, people who have decades of experience. So it's going to be a real fun live stream. And based on previous live streams for events like this, I suspect it's going to be very popular. We're going to have hundreds of people watching, even though it's really late. It's what, midnight here in New York, Toronto, Montreal. But that's only 9 p.m. on the West Coast. And of course, if you're in Europe, yeah, it's going to be what, 4 or 5 in the morning. So it's really early for you. But if you're in Asia, if you're in Australia, Japan, China, you're looking at somewhere around, well, noon o'clock, 11 a.m. to 1 a.m., 1 p.m. So really exciting. And I'm really excited. And again, I got the pre-order links, smart pre-order links here. I've also got them in the description for both lenses. Just caution though, these aren't going to show up right now. Go ahead and bookmark them, copy them, and as soon as the embargo is lifted, that's when they're going to work. And of course, you're going to get further into the queue. So I'm definitely purchasing the 200-800mm, and based on what I learned, I might also pick up the 24-105 f2.8, or should I get the 24-70 f2? It's really hard to say, isn't it? I mean, so many good options. But that's it for now. I got to hurry up and edit this and get this out the door so you can get it, so you can get the information before anybody else. Another ordinary filmmaker, well, news first. I'm breaking the news before anybody else, and it's tough to do. We've got so many great sites out there. Canon Rumors, Sony Alpha Rumors, The Camera Insider. But I broke the date and time for the Panasonic S5 Mark II, Mark II-X, as well as the Canon EOS R6 Mark II, and, well, the Nikon Z8. So subscribe, follow me on Twitter, formerly known as X, formerly known as Twitter. And it's going to be exciting tonight. I'll tweet out other information if it's not that big of a deal. Otherwise, I'll see you in about 5 hours. That's it for now. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Have yourself a great time. We'll see you again soon.